We now ask you to remain
Black Party,
standing.
shoulder up! Quick, march!
Inspire them, teach them, Father, help them to work for the benefit of the people of the city of San Fernando. Put within them that spirit of fortitude, of strength, diligence, and everything they set their hands and heart to do, let them do it all in it. Father, you said in your word, eye has not seen, ear has not heard, neither has it entered into the mind of man, the things you have in store. So, Father, we look forward to the future as we forge ahead. Renew, Father, we pray, give them that strength. And whatever obstacles they may face, Father, let them see it as stepping stones to move forward for the success of this great city of San Fernando. These things we ask you in the name of and by the authority of the Holy Name. That's what we pray.
Have your seats.
Where you at?
My name is Deborah Collins, and it is my pleasure this afternoon to welcome to this podium our Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Inaugural Singh, to welcome you and your greetings.
Thank you very much. Thank you and welcome. His Worship the Mayor of Regrello, Senator, the Honorable Minister Hussein.
To his fourth year as Minister of Rural Development and Local Government, members, Minister Hussein is our Minister.
Honorable Faris or Alwari, Member of Parliament, San Fernando.
The Honorable Randall Mitchell, Member of Parliament, San Fernando East. And with us today, visiting Senator Daniel Duque, who once sat on a chair here some years ago. Mr. Junia Williams, Deputy Leader of the People's National Movement, former aldermen, councillors of the 10th San Fernando City Council in the audience today, Mr. Kiran Singh, President, Greater Chamber of San Fernando, present with us today, Deputy Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Bevel Fernandez, all heads of department of the San Fernando City Corporation, Mr. Joseph Phillip, President of the Contracted and Journal Workers Union, members of staff, other specially invited guests, the media. Good afternoon again. Unlike my involvement at last week's swearing ceremony for councillors, today my role is very simple, however heartbreaking. Last week I spoke to you about information sharing with your electorate to avoid the perception of weakness. Today, however, the San Fernando City Corporation and its citizens bid farewell to our mayor who has served us for the last 3 years. Please give our mayor a round of applause. Your Worship, for myself, the Chief Officers and the administration of the San Fernando City Corporation, we thank you for giving of yourself and service to the city of San Fernando. At today's proceedings, 4 aldermen will take the oath of office, the election of a mayor and the election of a deputy mayor for the 11th council of the San Fernando City Corporation. So I hereby now declare the office of the Mayor of the City of San Fernando vacant. Section 13B of the Municipal Corporation
decline the election of persons as aldermen under section 15B11, such audience is going to come up, take their oath and have their seat at the table. Junia Regrello.
I, Junia Regrello, having been appointed alderman for the municipality of San Fernando, do hereby declare that I take the said office upon myself and will duly and faithfully fulfill the duties thereof according to the best of my judgment and wisdom, and declare that I am qualified as follows. I am a citizen of the Republic of the United States.
Thank you very much. You may have a seat. Next, I call Mr. Ruplal Samaru.
I, Ruplal Samaru, having been appointed alderman for the municipality of San Fernando, do hereby declare that I take the said office upon myself and will duly and faithfully fulfill the duties thereof according to the best of my judgment and ability, and declare that I am qualified as follows. I am a citizen of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago.
Thank you very much, sir. You may sign the... also just the signing of the register. Thank you very much. You may. Okay. Okay, next, call Mr. Colin and Aniceto Lizama. Okay. Just the level. There you go, sir. Your right hand, raise your right. Hold on to your left, raise your right.
Hold it up.
Yeah, raise your right hand.
I, Colin Aniceto Lizama, having been appointed alderman for the municipality of San Fernando, do hereby declare that I take the said office upon myself and will duly and faithfully fulfill the duties thereof according to the best of my judgment and ability, and declare that I am qualified as follows. I am a citizen of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago.
Thank you very much, sir. Okay, you may now sign the register. Okay. Okay, thank you very much. You may have your seat. Next item on our agenda is the election of a presiding officer to chair the election of a mayor of the corporation.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I, Teresa Lynch, Councillor for the Electoral District of Coquille-Turuba, rise to move the motion that Nigam Joseph, Councillor for Springvale Paradise, be appointed the presiding officer of the election of the mayor of the city of San Fernando.
I, Michael Johnson, Councillor for Marbella West, rise to second this motion.
Are there any further nominations?
I, Nigel Coutier, Councillor for Monrepo-Navet, rise to move that nominations be ceased.
All in favor? Aye. All against? Any abstentions? Motion is carried. Councillor Nigam Joseph is now the presiding officer for the election of the mayor of the city of San Fernando.
Thank you, CEO. As presiding officer of today's proceedings, I go to item 6 on the agenda, elections of the mayor for the city of San Fernando. Do we have any nominees for the position of mayor?
I, Michael Johnson, Councillor for Marbella West, rise to move that Alderman Junia Regrello be appointed the mayor of the city of San Fernando.
I, Riyad Hussein, Councillor for Lesser East Pero, rise to second this motion.
Any other further nominations?
Okay, I now invite...
I, Councillor Lynch, rise to move the nominations to be ceased.
All in favor? Any against? Any abstentions? The ayes have it.
Okay. Okay, thank you. I now invite Alderman Junia Regrello to the podium to take his oath.
I, Junior Regrello, having been elected mayor for the municipality of San Fernando, do hereby declare that I take the said office upon myself and will duly and faithfully fulfill the duties thereof according to the best of my judgment and ability, and declare that I am qualified as follows. I am a citizen of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago.
Okay, Alderman Junia Regrello, having taken the affirmation, I now congratulate you, Your Worship, as Mayor of the City of San Fernando. Right, and I now want... Okay, thank you, and the proceedings, following proceedings are now handed over to His Worship.
Members, we are now in the process of the nomination for the position of Deputy Mayor.
I, Robert Paris, Councillor for Pleasantville, rise that Ferry Diana Hussein be appointed Deputy Mayor of the City of San Fernando.
I, Utiye, Councillor for Monrepo, rise to second the motion.
Do we have any other nominations?
I, Nigam Joseph, Councillor for Springville Paradise, rise for the motion to be ceased.
Members, we have a single nomination for the post of Deputy Mayor. All in favor? Any against? Any abstentions? The motion is carried. I hereby declare our Alderman Ferry Hussein as Deputy Mayor of the City of San Fernando.
I, Ferry Diana Hussein, having been elected Deputy Mayor for the municipality of San Fernando, do hereby declare that I take the said office upon myself and will duly and faithfully fulfill the duties thereof according to the best of my judgment and ability, and to declare that I am qualified as follows. I am a citizen of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago.
Members, the next order of business is the appointment of the standing and other committees to be undertake the work of the council for the new term. And the standing committee would be Finance, Planning and Locational Resources, Chairman Junia Regrello, Deputy Chair Nigam Joseph. Public Health, Chairperson Dr. Ferry Diana Hussein, Deputy Chair Riyad Hussein. Physical Infrastructure, Chair Junia Regrello, Deputy Chair Nigel Ween Coutier. Personnel, Chair Nigam Joseph, Deputy Chair Michael Johnson. Other committees, General Purpose, Chair Robert Paris, Deputy Chair Michael Johnson. Planning and Development, Chair Riyad Hussein, Deputy Chair Councillor Teresa Lynch. Education and Youth Development, Chair Teresa Lynch, Deputy Chair Alderman Ruplal Samaru. Sports and Social Services, Chair Councillor Robert Paris, Deputy Chair Alderman Kuhn Philip Ramden. Parks and Institutions, Chair Councillor Teresa Lynch, Deputy Chair Councillor Riyad Hussein. Tourism and Heritage, Chair Councillor Nigel Ween Coutier, Deputy Chair Councillor Rishi Balaram Singh. Art and Culture, Chair Councillor Nigam Joseph, Deputy Chair Nigel Ween Coutier. Public Claims and Liability, Chair Councillor Marcus Gidari, Deputy Chair Councillor Alderman Colin Lozamo. Assessment, Chair Councillor Michael Johnson, Deputy Chair Nigam Joseph. Members, I need a motion for this, please.
Your Worship, members of council, I beg to move.
Can I get a second, please?
Your Worship, Springville's Paradise, so second.
All in favor? Any against? Any abstention? The motion is carried. Members, we are to the point where you fix dates and times for meetings for council, which shall be followed. At this point, Deputy CEO will have to have some remarks, and I'll see you.
Yes, good afternoon again. I invite Deputy CEO to give us some remarks, and then we would proceed with before the mayor and the special invited guests give their remarks, we're going to install each chain onto the mayors, so that when that is completed, the mayor is going to walk out and take the parade at the front of City Hall. Okay, so that's the next order of business, as listed on the agenda, Your Worship. Yeah, you would do that. Okay.
Your Worship, the Mayor and first citizen of the city of San Fernando, Alderman Junia Regrello, Minister of Rural Development and Local Government, Senator the Honorable Kazim Hussein, and other members of Parliament who are among us today, members of Council, Mr. Singh, CEO of the City of San Fernando, members of staff, specially invited guests, included but not limited to members of our previous Council, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It is my esteemed pleasure to bring the closing remarks on behalf of the City of San Fernando and the San Fernando Corporation on the occasion of the swearing-in ceremony of the aldermen and the election of mayor and deputy mayor of the City of San Fernando. I would like to take this opportunity to congratulate the members of council based on the outcome of the 2019 local government elections. Congratulations to all. And I would also like to congratulate the election of the aldermen today. Congratulations. Could we give them a round of applause? For some of you, this occasion may have been nostalgic, evoking memories of the good old days, while for others, it will be the first step of your 1,000-mile journey. Whatever the case may be, we, the members of staff of the San Fernando City Corporation, stands ready and willing to support and implement the initiatives and decisions of Council. Your Worship, in closing, I can only wish each and every one that was elected and appointed to serve the city of San Fernando Godspeed. May God grant you the serenity to accept the things you cannot change, the courage to change the things you can, and the wisdom to know the difference. May God continue to bless the city of San Fernando as San Fernandians continue to contribute to the growth and development of Trinidad and Tobago. At the end of today's proceedings, I would like to also invite the mayor and members of council and all our guests to proceed to the bandstand to witness the military parade, after which we will all return to the auditorium for refreshment. Please enjoy the rest of the evening. Thank you.
I invite His Worship the Mayor to the podium. The mayoral chain is going to be installed on His Worship, and Worship is going to give his remarks. His first remarks on the 11th Council of the San Fernando City Corporation.
Senator Honorable Haji Qasim Hussein, one of the hardest working ministers of the government. If you had looked this week, you'd have seen him somewhere in DB, tall boots, getting the job done. Minister of Rural Development and Local Government, our Honorable Minister, Line Minister. The Honorable Farish Al-Awari, Member of Parliament for my constituency, the constituency of San Fernando West. The Honorable Randall Mitchell, Member of Parliament for San Fernando East, our Deputy Leader, Ms. Junia Williams of the People's National Movement, former aldermen, councillors of the San Fernando City Corporation, CEO Mr. Indarajit Singh, Deputy Chief Executive Officer Mr. Beryl Philandia, Heads of Department of the San Fernando City Corporation, Senior Superintendent Wade Mohammed of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, Mr. Joseph Phillip, President of the Contractor and General Workers Union, members of staff, members of the Vendors Association who are here with us this evening, members of the community of Mbakade, Chairman of the Greater San Fernando Chamber of Commerce, specially invited guests, members of the media. It is with a heart filled with pride and profound sense of gratitude that I am thankful for the opportunity to serve as the mayor of the city of San Fernando for the past 3 years. To the political leader and Prime Minister, Dr. Honorable Keith Rowley, I say thank you. You saw within me the capacity, temerity, and determination to serve the citizens of San Fernando, which I did to the best of my ability. Rooted in fiscal responsibility and ensuring value for money and efficiency of actions, we were able to do more with less. It was only through embracing our Prime Minister's philosophy we were able to engender this ideology into action. Using this approach, we were able to complete several infrastructural, cultural, and social enhancing projects. May I crave your forbearance as I outline what this past council was able to achieve. Harris Promenade. What do we say about Harris Promenade? Lord Harris arrived in 1846. When Harris Promenade was a dirt road, the then council approached him and said, Mr. Governor, we need additional land in the estate of Paradise. Lord Harris, in his intelligence, said, yes, you could have land south of High Street, because in those days we had just 6 streets in San Fernando. And the council felt that Harris Promenade was a potential, or this space here was a potential for development. Lord Harrison's wisdom said, yes, you'll have the space, but providing you build schools, you build churches, and you build a space for the constabulary, you build a hospital, and you provide a space for leisure for the people. It's against that background that Harris Promenade was established. Harris Promenade remained like that because in those days we just horse-drawn carts, donkeys, whatever you had for transportation. Fast track to 170 years, and what do we have? 3 schools, a teaching hospital, a general hospital, several offices for lawyers. We have a police station, a magistrate court, a Supreme Court, office for the National Insurance Board, taxi stands in a narrow space with City Hall and other agencies in which we have to operate. This council has saw the wisdom of widening the streetway, the roadway, and reducing traffic. We removed taxi stands that were on the promenade against all that congestion, and that has seriously improved the flow of traffic and allows San Fernandans to move around with a level of ease. We look at the situation with vendors at Library Corner, which is critical. People were vending on the pavement and making it difficult for pedestrians and school children who had to use the street roadway. We provided a space around the promenade, around the library, with a festive setting, and in a very structured and orderly way, the vendors were able to operate with dignity. We look at Library Corner again. There was an island between Royal Castle and the original island that made no sense. We removed that island, creating a greater flow for traffic going into Lapig Hill. Library Corner is one of the weirdest traffic conjunction you could ever think about. You have 6 streets converging in one corner,
Mukurapu Street, Harris Promenade, High Street, Pointier Pier Road, Coffee Street, all of them coming into one space. How do we treat with that? Lord Harris didn't envisage that. So we made some changes. We had the Marabella taxis parked on Mukurapu Street heading north. So they will cross Harris Promenade, cross 2 lanes of High Street, a further 2 lanes by Royal Castle to go to Marabella, causing a level of congestion on High Street. You know what this council did? We had the wisdom to put the Marabella taxis outside of Royal Castle going north. We took the Laramine taxis that was on Coffee Street outside of Royal Castle and put them on Mukurapu Street going south and create an ease for traffic around Library Corner. Any San Fernandan will tell you that that was a wise decision taken by this council. Gone are the days when you have to come up, drive up High Street and be thinking about the time spent in traffic. Traffic impacts on productivity, and productivity impacts on the economy. That's the wisdom we had. No rocket science, just plain common sense. So that's why we're given the job to govern the city of San Fernando. Further down, we look at two-way traffic. You are traveling Eastern High Street. How do you get out? If you're going to the northern area, you're going to Vistabella, you're going to Panko Lane, you're going to Marabella, you have to get to the Library Corner. You know what we did? We changed Penitent Street into a two-way. We changed Munchakran Street into a two-way to ease up that traffic on High Street as we continued. We got complaints from the people using the 3rd Street area close to Asja. We went down, we looked at it, and we realized that there was a space. So if you're coming down 3rd Street and heading south, there's one lane for persons going east, persons going west, and if you're going straight into the Gulfy area, we remove the pavement, carry the barrier further inside, and create an additional lane and a lay-by for you to go east if you have to go east, easing up the traffic considerably. We have several awards from the Asja schools and the Mudsec school complimenting this team for getting that done. We looked at the municipal police, and I must thank the Minister and the Prime Minister for the vision. When we came into office, we had 23 municipal police. We now have 84 municipal police officers. And Minister, the credit must go to you because you have been championing that. And you told me recently we have 20 officers training to add to that. So we're going to have proper governance and regulations and regularity in terms of how we administer the law and order in the city of San Fernando. A question was asked about the building, the old Norwegian building on the wharf. It was asked by somebody recently. I'm very happy to tell you this evening, through minister intervention, we have begun to occupy that space, and the officers bid down there so they can survey the terrain and look what's happening on the Gulf of Paria and continue to do the work for the people of San Fernando. We have held discussions with the Green Fund, with consultants of the University of the West Indies, and a foreign university. The Green Fund provides an excellent opportunity for the San Fernando City Corporation to access funds for the creation of sustainable opportunities and economic diversity. The embellishment of the Harris Promenade bandstand, where plaques were recently placed, giving recognition to San Fernandians who would have shaped our landscape, including 3 outstanding sportsmen. Olympic runner Mani Ramjan, our long-distance runner who participated in the 1948 Olympics. Mr. Ramjan arrived in London in 1948 and lost his luggage by sea and chose to run in the race without shoes, barefooted. Against all, but Mr. Ramjan, you cannot do that. But that is the level of commitment from Mr. Ramjan. There is a plaque on the bandstand outlining his contribution for the city of San Fernando. We then have Mr. Rodney Wilkes, a former member of staff here, who won our first medal at the Olympics in 1948, a silver. He came back in 1952 and won a bronze. And of course, our own, who I choose to refer to as the first citizen of San Fernando, our own Hazley Crawford. Mr. Crawford, please stand. Please stand. Right. Our first gold medalist. Right. Right. Also including the past mayors of a history of the promenade and a short bio of Lord Harris. It is my hope that this will continue as there is space for others who would have contributed to our development in other spheres of activity. From a historical perspective, those who would have served the city as councillors, aldermen, and mayor have not been well documented. In this regard, we embarked on an exercise to ensure that recognition be given, and there is now a display of every councillor, mayor, and alderman who would have served over the years in the council chamber. Having said that, I do apologize for not making the effort to have my personal picture displayed at City Hall entrance or in the council chamber during my tenure, which is the norm. However, I meant no disrespect by this. I can further admit that I have never printed call cards nor purchased a new vehicle for the mayor's office, to which I was entitled. Incidentally, the one that I used was 15 years old. I fondly refer to her as Betsy. The reason being that, and I must admit, Betsy did shut down on me on 2 occasions. Once was on Hubert Rand Street, and people pass and say, Mayor, how are you walking? Because on Hubert Rand Street, you cannot get a taxi. But Betsy did her job. But how can you purchase a vehicle when at the time we were experiencing difficult economic times, and those funds, in my view, would have been better spent addressing the needs of the people of San Fernando. And I must tell you, I got buffed from my line minister on several occasions that I suppose the minister will argue about that another time. As we went along, we were able to honor our cultural icons such as Calypso Rose and Dr. Leroy Caliste, followed by concerts featuring our national instrument and living legend David Rudder, where we were able to successfully fill the Naparima Bowl, both auditorium and amphitheater. And we haven't done it in a long time. This council was able to do that. We also had a successful Caribbean reggae star, Chronix. Now, I didn't know who Chronix was. You know, somebody came to the office and said, Mr. Mayor, we want to host Chronix in San Fernando. Poor me. I from the Bob Marley time. So I said, well, we have to consider that. And I went to and asked my son, well, who is Chronix? He said, Daddy, he real bad. He on. So I contacted the guy, and we had Chronix. I will tell you, it's the first time I've ever seen people in Scannerback. It was wall to wall. People came all over the Caribbean to look at that show. It was really successful. We also went on to, this was followed by a North-South Steelman Clash that was held in Skinner Park on May 2019, an event held outside the carnival season, which attracted another large crowd, as countless other events that brought us closer together. We were able to work with our fellow citizens through several charity projects, donations from the Mayor's Fund. At this point, I'm very pleased to inform you that finally we were able to open the Center for the Socially Displaced, which was the brainchild of the former Mayor and now Minister of Rural Development and Local Government, Senator the Honorable Kazim Hussein. And Minister, you'll be proud to know that every Sunday we treat the homeless persons. We give them a shower. There are nurses and doctors there. There are people who look after them, and a change of clothing. That happens every Sunday, and you're free to visit us next Sunday and share, because that was your brainchild, and you should really enjoy that and be part of that success. Our achievements will not be possible without the support of the various state agencies and NGOs that have given us their assistance throughout the past 3 years. Permit me to recognize the contribution by the Greater San Fernando Business Association and their 112-strong membership led by their president, the very dynamic Mr. Kiran Singh, who has given us tremendous support since their inception. So when you pass Library Corner and you see all the lights there, it is not state money that is being spent for lights. It's Mr. Kiran Singh and a little bit of funds from the Mayor's Fund when we wreck a few vehicles. I apologize for that one. Our leadership and mutual confidence has yielded many success since their inception. Whether in infrastructure, social, or cultural, together we have begun the march towards a better future for our city. None of the numerous initiatives, events, and policies would have been made possible without the strong bond we have shared with the administrative arm of the San Fernando City Corporation. To the CEO, Mr. Indarajit Singh, the engineer, Mr. Natu Hiraman, and the various heads of department, thank you for your support as we work hand in hand to make San Fernando a better community and city. As mayor, I decided to take a strong and direct approach to serving my fellow San Fernandians, interacting on a daily basis with the people in and around the streets of San Fernando. Having said that, it would not have been uncommon to see me at Library Corner between 5 a.m. and 8 a.m. observing. By doing so, I was able to gain unique perspectives that aided in the development of our policies that reflected the best interests of the people of San Fernando by the people of San Fernando. Hopefully, I was able to turn negatives into positives and skeptics into believers, except the 4 individuals that protested outside City Hall last week. Contrary to public belief and publications, the only person that I've ever hired or employed was the councillor, the UNC councillor, Rishi Ram Singh. Councillor, is that true? I hired Councillor Ram Singh, was the UNC to work in my office. Was it last year or year before last? Last year. He worked in my office last year. That's the only person I've ever hired. So we'll put that to rest at another time and clear the air on that matter. It is our intention to create in the minds of our citizens a vision of a better version of San Fernando, a version that will guide us through the next decade, addressing critical issues such as the impact of climate change on our well-being and dependency, one that will speak to urban planning and urban management. We boast of being the education capital of Trinidad and Tobago, but we are yet to produce any innovators. In fact, we are way behind the rest of the Caribbean where this phenomenon is concerned. In this regard, I urge our young, talented academics to use the tools that you have acquired to make us more competitive and sustainable. All of these are achievable through a system of mutual cooperation, respect, and understanding, encompassing the essence of our national motto, together we aspire, together we achieve. In closing, it is my absolute honor and privilege to have served you for the past 3 years, and I look forward to another 3 years with the same commitment and passion. On behalf of my wife and family, I thank you all for this opportunity and vow to carry on and improve on the work that we have accomplished together for a greater and brighter tomorrow for the city of San Fernando. May God bless you, and may God bless the city of San Fernando. I thank you. At this point, I would like to invite my very good friend, somebody I've known for a very long time and spent time in terms of working in the political world, if I may say it that way. And he's also a line minister, and we look forward to another 3 years of development and program for the city of San Fernando. Let us all stand and give a son of the soil a welcome, Minister of Rural Development and Local Government, Senator the Honorable Qasim Hussein.
His Worship, the Mayor of the City of San Fernando, Alderman Junia Regrello, Deputy Mayor, Aldermen and Councillors, Member of Parliament for San Fernando West, the hard-working Attorney General of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. When I say hard-working, I mean hard-working. Every day in the Parliament, passing all the laws and getting the job done. The Member of Parliament for San Fernando East, the Honorable Mr. Randall Mitchell, and Minister of Tourism. And I want to tell these 2 young men sitting in front, they used to get all the applause. First was the Attorney General, then the Member of Parliament for San Fernando East. But I noticed today the Mayor get the most applause. I want to acknowledge a special young lady in the audience who I have worked with in San Fernando East, who is a strong woman, who is a role model, and who I have learned a lot from. I always say to be a leader, you have to be a follower. And I followed a lot. And I want to acknowledge the Deputy Political Leader of the People's National Movement, Mrs. Joan Williams. permit me to say, if this was a P&M function, she would have been all in red. And looking beautiful as ever. I want to acknowledge the Chief Executive Officer of the San Fernando City Corporation, who I have had the privilege of working with, Mr. Indarjit Singh, the Deputy CEO, and all the administrative staff of the San Fernando City Corporation. I want to acknowledge also the former councillors in the audience. I see Councillor Jennifer Marishaw. I see Mr. Sharon Thomas Loney. I don't want to miss anybody. Any other former? Mr. Lynch, one vote. Councillor Lynch, and Mr. Lynch is the father of the young councillor on stage. I see Alderman Kevin Ratiram here, who served when I was the mayor, and Alderman Vidya Mongal Bisesa. Councillor, former in my father's days, Councillor Roger Paris, who was here. Now, ladies and gentlemen, San Fernando is my city, and I could talk a little more than the mayor. So permit me, if I want to acknowledge a few people, because all we need in life is for people to recognize the work that we are doing. Okay? I want to acknowledge Mr. Daniel Duki, Senator Daniel Duki, who sits in, he's my colleague in the Senate, hard-working gentleman. He was an alderman on the council. I want to acknowledge another special young lady in the audience, and they say behind every good man, there's a strong woman. And I want to acknowledge Mrs. Kamala Regrello. And her two sons, Joshua and the talented Nicholas. The Chamber of Commerce, Greater Chamber, Mr. Kiran Singh, Mr. Hazley Crawford, who don't like to be noticed at all. I've known him for a little while. Very humble sprinter. Very, very, very humble man. I must say so. I welcome you to your friend, who is the mayor, who is swearing in today. All you municipal police who are present today, members of the media, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, members of the media, I said, today is a very special day that will be written in the city of San Fernando. If all that the mayor did in 3 years, what do you expect him to do in the next 3 years? Twice that amount. He's a strong leader. I learned a lot from him. Very, very strong. And I know he will do a good job in the next 3 years. And it's so funny, politics is so funny. And it's so temporary. He has 3 years. I have 1 year. Because when 2020 comes, nobody knows the future. And that is politics. So according to my Prime Minister, he always say, don't fall in love with office. He always tells us that all the time at cabinet. Don't fall in love with office. But I want to advise you young councillors here today, whether you are from the UNC or whether you're from the P&M, because after the election results, there's no UNC and P&M, it's the people of San Fernando first. So whether you're wearing a yellow tie or a red tie, the people comes first. And I want you to fall in love with the people who put you in office, not the office. Local politics is all local. And local politics is on the ground. You must be on the ground. So I am urging you young councillors to be on the ground. Listen to the people. I always say it and I will always say it. A former prime minister who I had the opportunity to serve under, and I will always say it because I have it to say. God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. And all politicians should take heed for it. You listen more and you talk less. So listen to the people who put you in your office and what their wants and what their desires and what their suggestions are, and I guarantee you, you will have no problem. I served as a councillor for 9 years, and I used to visit, and the reason why I'm telling you what I went through, because I want you not to emulate me, but to ensure that you do what you have to do. Every 3 months, I used to visit every household in the area that I represented, which was Lesafort East Sipero. And I can't stand up here on a platform and say this and not be true. Anybody could tell you in that area that I visit them every 3 months to find out what I could do for them, what I was doing, what I intend to do. So if you want to succeed, and if you have ambition to go back up after the 3 years, make sure and visit the people that put you in office. Because you can't wait for the 6 months or 3 months when you hear the election bell ring 3 years and say, well, I'm going back and I want to go back on the council. And you can't fool them. You could fool me. I'm from the dinosaur age, but you can't fool the people now. I come from the same age with the mayor. So I want to remind you, take your oath of office very seriously. This is not about fame and fortune. This is about the ground. Be transparent in every single thing you do, because everybody have a phone in their hand. They want to tape you. They want to record you. They want to put you on Facebook. But the truth does always come out. Listen and learn. Don't do anything to embarrass yourself, your family, the party that you belong to. And I'm telling you this from experience. I went through my share, but I am still standing strong because I have faith in Almighty God. Because if you don't have that faith, you better start walking. Because without God, you can't make it. So, ladies and gentlemen, with these few words, I have a simple announcement to make. And it's about, everybody have been asking me about what is going on in Penal Debe, in Woodland, in Barapore, and in those areas affected by the flood. Well, this morning, the Honorable Prime Minister of this Republic of Trinidad and Tobago contacted me, and he spoke to me concerning the flood. And I want to announce that even as we are still awaiting the assessment of the damage caused by the extensive flooding and the waters have not yet receded completely, the government recognizes the need for additional resources to be made available to the affected corporations to enable them to provide additional immediate humanitarian assistance. In furtherance of this objective, for the coming of the few days, Cabinet has authorized the Minister of Rural Development and Local Government, that is me, to make $2 million available for this purpose. From this immediate humanitarian assistance, Penal Debe gets $1 million, while Mayaro gets $0.5 million, and another 0.5 million goes to the community of Barapo. This money is mainly for food, cleaning materials, and other basic needs in the short term. This morning, as I said, the Office of the Prime Minister announced that additional financial resources will be allotted to the regional corporations which were affected by flooding following the heavy rains last week, Tuesday and Wednesday. The region of Penal Debe, which was most affected, will receive the most, which is $1 million. Both Mayaro and Barapo areas will receive $500,000 each to assist in ongoing cleanup and relief operations. It must be noted that these are additional funds to assist the current efforts to bring humanitarian aid to the affected areas. This process for disaster relief grants still stands. Primarily, these funds will be used to provide hampers, food supplies, cleaning supplies to the affected households. Assessments are being carried out and recommendations for disaster relief grants offered by the Ministry of Social Development and Family Services are on the way as we speak. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe I work at the Ministry of Rural Development and Local Government. I work there because it's a temporary office. And I believe my job in this ministry is to be on the ground with the people. So anything happens in this country, you will find me. I make myself available. I would not sit in the office and direct things to be done. I go out there with the people to get it done. Friday, I had CPEP down in that area, and we had over 80 CPEP workers from that region started to clean the temples, the mosques, the schools, whatever they had down there, CPEP was on the ground working. So I am working in a ministry where we have to get the job done. In other words, the San Fernando City Corporation falls within the Ministry of Rural Development. So you all have to get the job done. I am here to support you all. The government is here to support you all. We are going into the local government reform, and I want you all to give the Prime Minister a round of applause. He doesn't need it, but he worked hard for it, and he encourages local government reform. I have with me here the hard-working Attorney General, who is a member of the LRC, and also the member for San Fernando East, who ensured that local government bill came to the Parliament. And you all should give them a round of applause. It's hard work. It's hard work. Ladies and gentlemen, the AG, you all don't know, because he won't talk about it, but I could talk about it. Like, he don't sleep. Members of his staff tell me he goes home all 2 o'clock in the morning. He is committed. And that is what you want. People with commitment, not people with talk. People to get the job done. And AG, I want to commend you. I know you like praises, but you deserve it. You work hard. So the local government reform will come. We just finished we had the 14 consultations with Minister Franklin Khan, the previous Minister of Local Government. Then we had the bill went to LRC, Cabinet approval. It went to the Joint Select Committee. We finished the Joint Select Committee, and we are doing the last part now. And this Prime Minister made sure local government reform is going to happen. I will try my best before I leave office to make sure, before I leave that office, because I'm not leaving politics, I'm going to make sure that we get this reform going, because the people will have a say what projects they want, where they want the money spent. They will have the say with who are the contractors. The contractors must come from the community. You can't have a man working from Rio Claro or Siparia coming to work in San Fernando. The contractors must come from San Fernando. So ladies and gentlemen, with these few words, I want to congratulate my friend who's worshipped the mayor for doing a good job, for taking the mantle once again, the confidence that the Prime Minister and the leadership of the PNM, People's National Movement, have in you. And we will all give you that support. I urge you as council members, you are a team now. You are not on your own anymore. Hold on to the mayor, hold on to the council, and do your best you can do. And with these few words, I would like to thank Almighty God for bringing us here to make this day happen. Thank all of us for coming here. Thank the people of the wonderful city of San Fernando. May Almighty God bless us and give us good health with long life. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we are at the end of the formal part of the ceremony. We kindly ask you to stand as we get ready for the retreat of the color party, which you would follow to gather in the bandstand for the parade.
Steady. Stand still. Sit down.
Inspection of the car?
No.
Huh?
No. Pollution.
Thought it would become big. You see it on YouTube? It's on YouTube. It gone from here straight down to the park. Yeah. No, I have it on all of that on YouTube.
Listen, congratulations as being the 66th mayor, 66
City of San Fernando, the San Fernando Municipal Police, open order, waiting inspections. Instructor.
Yes, sir. Order, right check.
To the end of the front rank, touch forward of it. Stand still, front rank.
First Division officers on parade. Hey, Smith.
Back for a second, Tim. We'll start with an easy question.
Okay, well, there's still a lot more work to be done as we look at urban development and taking San Fernando forward with our plan. So I guess it's a work in progress.
Your Worship, it's a surprise to see. Recently you said he was not going to go back up as mayor. And he was going to go
to Mount Everest.
To Mount Everest.
I had other plans. But I also said in that same statement that I am a devoted member for the People's National Movement, and whatever my party like me to do, I will comply. I also said that.
So it was a request by the party?
No, the party make decision. They have a policy process that they go through. They make the decision and they nominate me, and I accept it.
Any priority in the second term, Mr. Mayor? Your first term will be traffic arrangements. Any priority in the second term?
I think we have to look at a more comprehensive planning going forward in terms of urban development. There's so many things that we need to address. We have to look at climate change. We have to look at, I said before, accessing the green fund and what opportunities that we may have. We look at the local government reform and the opportunities that may come with reform. I think that really will transform San Fernando and economic opportunities for us.
So may I see that a growing homeless situation again on from
Well, I guess there would be, within the local government reform strategy that we have there may be options for us, opportunities for us to address that. As it stands right now, it's a social matter, it's a very difficult situation because you have to look at in terms of where we stand, what the legal implications are, how we treat it. As it stands right now, we cannot arrest anybody. The police have tried several times to do this, who have been creating havoc around the city, and of course they go to court and then they're released. So we may need legislation to deal with that.
We want to
legislatively short.
And we need the full council.
Even the council go already.
All of them go? No, but we need him with the mayor and the council. I know. Was for. Why is he? He need to come in.
I don't know anymore. Let's some companies step out behind my
Oh, sorry. Everybody feel cheese.